You.
Okay.
We are back again. For a minute there, I was trying to figure out why my volume was not turning on. Apparently, my audio just got connected. What a way to start the show. Fellas,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
another episode of Who's Fighting. We've been away for a few days. A lot's happened. Episode 59. Tell me,
Yeah.
fellas, how you been?
Oh, it's getting hot. It's getting hot out here in Dallas, and that gym is getting hotter. All
Is it
good,
figuratively or
man.
actual temperature? Is it
A little bit of both.
like
So
both?
let's bring it up. So recently had a guy that I work with doing his strength and conditioning fall out in Amarillo. Jerry Dormerville pulled out a victory, unanimous decision, 4 round fight out there. So hey man, we just getting started. I got my girl Nadia. Yeah, let's get that. There we go. My girl Nadia Marvelous Perry. She made her Team Combat League debut last week in the 140 division for the Dallas Enforcers. So that was a really big step. And we got some plans for her moving forward. So and then I got a chance to touch the IBF strap. Sharetta Metcalf came by the gym. And I didn't really want to hold it. I didn't feel honored to hold it, but I did touch it. And seeing that IBF strap, that was pretty cool up close. Very beautiful piece of hardware.
Nice.
So,
nice.
Yeah, just some cool stuff happening around the gym, man. And it's hot. So
It's hot outside too.
yeah, exactly.
It is hot outside.
Nah, for real.
In places.
Yeah.
LT, what you
Yeah.
up to lately?
I mean, school's out for summer. So, enjoying this little time away. But there's always work to do.
Always
So,
work.
thinking of a master plan.
Right.
Always good. Shoot, we were away for quite a bit, maybe 12 days since our last episode 58. I, for one, was traveling, doing some work, fulfilling my 9-to-5 commitment, which is professional development. So, found myself in Orlando and got some acclimating to some of the culture out there and also getting used to the weather, as you guys may have already spoken about. It is both rainy and hot and humid and all that in the above. Actually, right now we are going through a thunderstorm where I'm at. So in case I hear sirens going off, I may have to, look for shelter in case tornadoes happen this night. But hopefully,
Wait. There's tornado threats in your area right now?
oh yes, since yesterday. Not
Wow.
so, but we've been having thunderstorms and
Well, the conditions are conducive to that. Yeah.
we had almost like hurricane type of winds that were pushing stuff around. Like we had, especially where I live, I won't say exact place, but around the area of Bel Air, Wichita, some electrical poles were blown down by the wind, and some people didn't have electricity, so there's been a bit of power outage and that type of deal.
Well, let me tell you, 101 mile per hour sets the record for the highest. There was actually a roof torn off a boxing gym in Plainview.
Yes.
Wow.
The winds are not playing.
Gazebos have went go-go. So yeah. And I just seen a picture on the news, it's like round 3 is coming.
Round 3 is coming. So
yeah.
Right now I'm more like, but I know all is gonna be good, knocking on wood. So everything is gonna be good. But besides the what life brings to us, let's talk about some of our pastime, which is combat sports, and in particular, let's talk about boxing. We are going to do a bit of recapping, but this is also not midweek, early week special. So we'll also do some forecasting. So with recapping, let's take it back to June 7th. And we'll go back overseas. When I say overseas, this is across the pond in the UK. We had a Queensberry production in conjunction with the Zone, and we had a heavyweight WBA interim title fight. These two fighters we've seen fight. We've talked about them prior. We had Fabio Wardley versus Justice Huni. Fellas, did you guys watch this fight?
Caught a little bit.
Yeah.
My interest in Fabio Wardley is I'm following his strength and conditioning program. I've been following for a few years out of the UK. Boxing Science. And I've been able to implement some of their tactics with the guys that I train, and I've seen some results. And I think Fabio Wardley, if I'm not mistaken, this might have been his 8th knockout in a row.
Right.
I'll fact check that, but yeah, that's So yeah, I didn't get a chance to like break it down, but I did see it. I don't really think he was in control of the fight, but one punch sealed the deal for him.
LT, I'm assuming you didn't catch this fight.
No, I didn't catch this one. I did see the highlights, so it sounds like the highlights told the story.
Pretty much. This was like, I won't lie to you, this was one of my favorite heavyweight bouts this year thus far. We've seen the 2 Buckley fights. We're talking about Parker and Ajagba, which are the heavyweight that we've seen. We've seen the two guys clash it out. Fraser. Anyways, just out of all the heavyweight fights that I've seen this year, this has been my favorite because it kept me on my feet. I was like, wow, because Huni was doing a great job, just doing a great job. But what I was not paying attention to until one of the commentators said was, look at the body jab work that Fabio is putting in. Don't look at the activity of Huni. Huni may be working him, but look at that body work because it's gonna pay off. And did it pay off? That was like when you have an aha moment, like, yeah, I just learned something in boxing IQ right there. Because I was not seeing him work the jab. I was just seeing a guy hitting a guy in the body, and I'm like not paying attention to how many times he's going there. And he was just working it slowly. And when it came to, pull the trigger, body, clock. And, and it was just such a beautiful thing to see, especially in the heavyweight division, someone buying their time, not looking for, it was not like a slug out type of thing, but actually working a guy who's actually whooping your behind. Like the whole fight, if he had gone the full 12, he's not gonna win that fight. But just that one punch, how amazing! A jab to the body, not even to the head, but working a low jab to set up to whatever you need to set up is just amazing. And I think the highlights showed that and how he kind of trapped him and got him to where he wanted to get him to get that knockout and get him out of here. Fun fact about Fabio, he's one of those I'll put in the same camp as Bronze Bomber, George Foreman. They're late bloomers. Fabio started boxing at 21. So that shows, especially to have that level of IQ, that level of patience, and that, go, nuclear, because he's been knocking out people. So just being patient. I wish a Bronze Bomber had that patience to work somebody, to get him to a point where, okay, now I think I should bring out what I'm really good at and nuke the situation and get him out of here. But that was a great fight. Something I would want to even go back and watch it and get more familiar. I'll be honest, like Wardley, I've watched one other fight prior to this, but I never really was familiar with him. And after that fight, I just did all that research on him and what he had been doing prior to. And it's interesting to hear that where he's from, and I think he's from Birmingham. If I may be wrong, his team is it's not Aston Villa, but it's Birmingham City, and boxing was never his number one sport. So that's interesting seeing a guy built like that saying boxing was never like, yeah, he's a late, add on to the sport, and now he's taking on the heavyweight dude. Man, let's talk about some of those European heavyweights. There's always somebody that we talk about that looks way more advanced than the ones that we have here in the States. Sad to say. Oh, maybe I don't know. Maybe we're not highlighting our American heavyweights, but when I look at guys like that, I get jealous. I'm like, man, we need something here in the United States in the heavyweight division.
And
yeah,
you got Wardley ranked currently number 2 in the UK in the heavyweight for on Box Rec.
Right.
So Dan Dubois, Fabio Wardley, Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, Lawrence Okole wrapping up the top 5. They got Moses Diatama wrapping up the top 10. This is via Box Rec.
How did Okole go up that high? Is it because he was an ex-champion at
well, these are the UK rankings. This is ranking the United Kingdom boxers via Box Rec. Fair. So they rank them. They have a total of 57 heavyweights that are recognized by Box Rec, and just going through that list, you can hear a few names that will give our American heavyweights issues. Up and down this list, actually. So we've got some work to do, man, in our systems, in our gym. So it's an indictment on everybody, but we have to appreciate what's good. And Baby O'Warley, 19 fights, 18 knockouts.
Yeah,
that's something.
Yeah. So moving on from that, because we got quite a bit to recap. Still, June 7th across the pond, we'll talk about light heavyweight. This is for the light heavyweight. Let me say the exact belt this is for. Oh, maybe this is not for a title belt. I may pull this back. But we have Callum Simpson. There's a lot of Callums in the UK. Callum Simpson versus Ivan Zuko. And this was a light heavyweight bout. And this was ended by TKO. Did not get to watch this fight, but I did catch the Wardley fight, which was the main fight that day. As we pivot, and this is just summing up the fights that happened earlier that day.
Real quick, shout out to everybody that's watching live.
Oh, yeah.
Jump in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe.
Yep. Engage in the comments. Like, subscribe, leave something. We'll talk about. But we'll add you to the show. Going back to what we were talking about here. That evening we did have a PBC production, actually. And the PBC production was supposed to headline Virginia's very own Keyshawn Davis. Actually, the 3 Davis brothers. Keyshawn, and what's the other third one? Can't remember his name. But they're 3. The 3 Ks. The KDs, the 3 KDs. And co-headlining was our guy of the show. We've been early adopters, early people who have been talking about him since back in September last year. Abdullah Mason. Apparently leading up to not apparently, but unfortunately, because it's unfortunate because money was lost. One of the headliners decided to not make weight. And we're talking about the businessman, Keyshawn. Before we dive into what happened throughout the other bouts, let's talk about Keyshawn Davis, the businessman. His city, his second time fighting his city. He's been given by PBC the green light. He has been given what Adrian Broner was given when he had that fight was it in Cincinnati, whatever, But before Keyshawn was given the green light, they had him prove himself to sell a fight on a Friday, remember? And how many eyeballs can he bring into? And he did really good. This was prime weekend, Saturday, your night. It's your turn to be a star. We are setting the table up for you. What happened? He missed weight by how much? 0.5? I can't remember.
Like 4. It was like 4 pounds.
4 pounds.
An extreme amount at the championship level. You see that at these on the Chitlin circuit, but not at a world title fight. Man, that is insane.
Is this redeemable from his sponsors and what PBC and all those people that are backing him? Because he is being backed. Is this redeemable? There's a lot of money lost. And his opponent decided, nah, I'm taking my 100K and I'm walking away. I'm not going to give you a fight.
That was the killer right there. Was assuming that Edwin, what was his name?
Edwin,
I don't know.
I'll give you his name here.
De Los Santos.
De Los Santos, because I'm thinking track in my head. So Edwin De Los Santos would take the fight anyway for the full purse. He elected to take half the purse. And I think they were like, okay, he didn't even try to sweat. Like because, in his head, he was a professional. He did what he had to do to make the weight. But also it's like, he didn't put this guy across the ring is a dangerous guy, and he didn't put himself through the same stress that I put myself through. So he's going to come in way heavier. Yeah, he probably made a smart decision. And
yeah.
And it was one that was not predicted.
I was really glad that he did not take the fight. These fighters assume that their opponent is so hell bent on fighting anyone that they will take that risk. Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia. There's consequences for not abiding by the contract. So,
right.
I would love to see that fight, but I'm also have to applaud De Los Santos for standing his ground, say no, we agreed at this weight, and I'm not going to put myself in that position. So, hey, gotta give him credit for that. And then Keyshawn, on the other hand, who had all the expectations, and he calls himself the businessman with a very poor business move, because yes, he can be redeemable, but at what cost, right? How many opportunities will be missed because of just the poor showing, man? Like, coming to the arena and eating popcorn in the stands, you looking erratic, energy looking real off. Like, yeah, we expect Keyshawn to be, a talker and high energy, but it was a bad look, man. So it progressed worse to an actual scuffle, altercation, whatever, in the back. I mean, come on, man. Like this, we were really looking for him to be that next guy. And it really will be hard to support him. Obviously hope he does well, but man, that was some craziness, man. That's just craziness. In your hometown.
Right.
In your hometown. So
yeah. And with Keyshawn, it was just a pile on, man. Like, I believe if I'm a headliner and I don't make weight, I'm the person who's bringing all the eyes to the show. I don't make weight, and my opponent does the middle finger and says, I don't have to fight you. I won't fight you. You failed. You went against the contract. Now, all the money that was made from the gate, of course, the promoters are going to get paid. It's me that has lost the bag. So I've taken the biggest L. Because now I'm not going to get the gate money. I don't know, because they get bound. They have that. Everything is based on a clause and bonuses and add-ons and everything, and pay-per-view and all sorts of stuff. Cool. How much money did he lose? And even with that, getting ready for championship fights. I don't know. Maybe this was not a championship fight, but getting ready for an elite fight, camp is expensive. and I'm assuming Keyshawn is the money man, paying for all his brothers and everybody, paying for all these trainers, all this recovery, all that stuff you're paying for. It's out of your pocket. You can't be called a businessman and fumble the bag like that. And then a pylon is you get into an altercation that could, and allegedly, maybe but there's video going out there with
something happened
in the tunnel and in the back room that could possibly lead to assault at work. Could lead to legal. It could lead to a legal matter where now you bring in lawyers and somebody's going to get paid for being assaulted while working.
Nah, see, let's put it. I'm gonna put this in the full context. So the fighter who beat his brother came out and said that he forgives Keyshawn and he wants everybody else to forgive Keyshawn, which is really respectable and big, because this is a guy from Philly and he knows where this can go. And so Bozzy Ennis came out and said, you really got to think before you do something like that, because now you can't come to Philly. Your brothers can't come to Philly. Nobody can come to Philly now.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to forget, the camps, the individuals themselves, but the cousins, the friends, and supporters. Hey, ain't you old boy that was acting a fool in Norfolk with my folks?
See,
that's you, right? Oh, that's you. Yeah. That's you. Hold on.
That's prime example when Darrell. Do we remember this when Darrell got hit after the bell?
Wait, what happened?
Uncle. It was his uncle that came in and slept. So
yeah. That was crazy.
And I didn't know that piece that Nail Albright came out and said that he's forgiving. Salute to Nail. And even I hate that his victory over, was it Keon or Kelvin? I think it was Kelvin, the oldest brother. So his victory was actually a dope. He did a great. He probably was fight of the night outside what we were going to talk about here, Mason. But his whole night was shadowed by this altercation. So, man, with Keyshawn, man, when it rained, it poured that day, and it showed a lack of maturity. It showed a lack of poise. It showed like a lack of not understanding that, dog, you're in the big dogs now. Keyshawn is still one of my favorite in this current scene, and I think his charisma is A1. He has it. He has everything. His boxing, of course, undeniable. His skills, I think he's one of the scariest boxers. Like, he legit is one of those, because it's kill or be killed, like his style, right? He's undeniable with his boxing. So I just, man, sometimes everything needs to align, and that day, boy, it did not. And hopefully, there's atonement that comes in, and we want to hear. I'm not saying I need a public apology. But atonement meaning him and the people in the back, working on the back end business to get some understanding and redemption. I mean, it happened with what's his name?
Hold on, Strap. So this is a situation where in like the NBA, there's a breach of contract. And I'm going to this is going to be a pun, an analogy, but I think this sums it up. There's a prominent guy on ESPN right now who has this relationship with Top Rank by the name of Jay Williams, a star player coming out of college. He was drafted by the Chicago Bulls. He had big enough the cojones to say, I'm going to take this locker that nobody has used, just so happens to have been the locker of one Michael Jeffrey Jordan. He said, I'm going to take this locker because it's just been sitting there empty. Well, what happened was he was riding a motorcycle without a helmet, literally crashed himself out of the NBA. Breach of contract, Okay, when you do breach of contract, they take it back the signing bonus,
everything.
Okay. So this is a situation where Keyshawn really hurt the brand. He hurt the brand, promoters, like this is all kind of
ramifications of his actions, man. And you just don't. It just came out of left field. You miss weight, then you show up looking like you didn't really care. You walk out with your brother for his fight. Your whole demeanor was just off-putting by everybody that was a fan of his. Like, bro, that's how you acting?
He was crashing out.
In front of our eyes, he was unraveling, which is unbecoming of a champion. Like, maybe he can readjust, but I mean, it's a higher level of thinking. And he just, man, was totally shocked to see that that's what he was on. So,
yeah,
it's gonna be something to see what happens. I mean, you mentioned at the beginning of the segment, like, is this redeemable?
Right.
He got a long road. Yeah, he got a long road to come back. It's gonna be a long, hard road. So,
sorry, LT. You were saying something that stood out to me, and I was thinking, who was the last big name that was being pushed? Like, I don't want to say industry plant, but someone that is obviously being overly advertised to you. Like Keyshawn is being overly advertised. He's everywhere, right? The last person that was overly advertised, and if you noticed, his fire is not as hot, is because he missed weight. Was Kamaru Martin, if I'm saying his name right? The Team Mayweather kid, you know what I'm talking about? Remember when he missed? Yes. Remember before he missed that weight, everybody was talking about the new Tank, and he was everywhere. And when he had that big thing where he was supposed to be one of the main guys, and he missed weight, and he missed it so bad they could not even have the fight. Remember, it was pretty bad. It was embarrassing.
It was like 9 or 10 pounds or something.
Yeah, it was something ridiculous where the fight could not even happen. It was just.
Keyshawn was stripped of his belt, like
So yeah, you absolutely right. Maybe we don't even know how deep this is gonna go, because I don't see Martin getting the same looks as Abdul Mason, because they were about the same. Like, they were getting highlighted about the same amount everywhere. He's not getting those same looks. He did have a fight a while back, but nobody talked about it. Like, it was just, this kid was on fire and he was everywhere, and his videos as a kid with Mayweather were being played on every sport, every combat sport show and whatever. But that's crazy how they can turn the water off on you like that.
Facts. If we were a bigger platform, I wouldn't even manifest some of these things.
It's crazy
because I wouldn't want to put them out there in the atmosphere. But I'm like, if they really wanted to, like, you would be looking up and seeing Keyshawn having to fight under Only in America. Like, for real.
Right. Can't even say his name, like summon him.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Candyman.
Look, don't do that, bro. Stop
that. Just this is one of those cautionary tales, man. When everything is, the table is being set for you, when you doing what you have to, your job is to go out there and execute, man, be like your actual name, be the businessman, because right now you're the star in the family too, to be honest. I mean, it's good that your brothers they're good fighters too, but like, you're the guy, you're the cash cow, and they need to protect you. If you are hothead, you need to have extra people, not to protect the people, but to prevent you from being you. Like Tyson said, I have security, not for me, it's for you. I don't want to, you know. So if you're a hothead, keep yourself in the back, you know, in the green room.
I'm gonna make one last point, and we need to get off of this.
Yeah.
The same people that bring you boxing are the same people who made the contracts for the music industry. Are the same people that brought you alcohol through prohibition. How much money did he cost Vegas?
Oh,
you going deep right there with that one.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe messing down.
Okay, where we at? Next topic.
We're taking his nickname.
Let's talk about the victor of the day. Let's talk about the victor of the day, and we've been talking about this kid, man. It's weird if we can call him a kid now. He's like 23 now, 22. We were watching him when he was starting off at 19, almost 20. Man, Abdullah Mason, and he does what he does. Finished. The African dude, what's his name? Jeremy Niatelli. I can say his name right.
Nakatila.
Yeah. Nakatila, yeah. I've never heard of him. That's another thing. I know LT, you did talk about him last before we left, and you brought up this fight, but I saw the guy fight. I was impressed.
Yeah,
I was actually impressed earlier on, but that boy Abdullah Mason is finding a way to get these guys out. Okay, before I give my take, fellas, did you guys watch this one?
Yeah,
bro. I'm gonna be honest. Well, I'm gonna be honest because that emotional roller coaster turned me off for the weekend. So I but I had some other things going on. I have to send you guys a picture to tell y'all, but yeah, that whole I have to turn that. Anyway.
But I mean, yeah, I feel you though, LT, because we're so like they brought us in so deep into seeing his rise. Abdullah Mason was just extra, right? Because we know that they're trying to build his career, but this was a bit of a step up. Facing a power puncher. He looked sharp. He looked ready. He gave all the right answers. He had the right demeanor. He looked flashy. The whole spectacle, right? He's got these brothers. They looking suited and booted, flashy attire in the ring, sharp skills, clean face, and just he behaved himself like a champion, like somebody that is as primed and ready to make a run and collect some straps. So we as a show we've been rocking with them. So we didn't expect anything less.
So here's the key takeaway, and this is how fast the script can flip on you, right? So in the pressers in the lead up to that day, they're teasing Keyshawn Davis versus a future match between Keyshawn and Abdullah Mason, which coming out of that, I was going to talk about how absurd that would be, because this seems like you just undercutting your own brand. Like if I got two fighters in one stable, like it just wouldn't make sense to me from a business aspect. Now, he should have been focused on Edwin De Los Santos. Coming out of that, De Los Santos elects not to fight, so therefore he relinquishes a shot at the title, because even though he takes half the purse, half of the guaranteed purse, the WB orders now elevates Abdullah Mason, and they're ordering a fight against one Sam Noakes. Okay, so Abdullah Mason versus Sam Noakes for the vacant WBO belt. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the title that was stripped from Keyshawn.
Yes, he's the WBO.
And so now it's interesting how Edwin De Los Santos just get thrown to the side.
Not even in the mix anymore.
Yeah. Like with that, it's politics as usual. I look at Abdullah Mason, and I was wrong. He's not 24. I was tripping. I said last year he was 19. He's 20. He's 21. Being so young, and I could see what Keyshawn is trying to do. He's trying to do the Mayweather, Canelo. Get them when they're young. Get them out of here. Get them. You don't want to get them when they are, past that puppy dog stage, and now they're grown and they know they're ready. And I can see what Keyshawn was trying to do, trying to make him, trying to bait him for a call out, so that pressure can be put on. And Abdullah Mason was very very, very smart. People would say he was, comments on like he's scared of Keyshawn. No, he's smart. He was dancing around Keyshawn's suggestions and saying, "Yeah, talk to my team. My team sets up all the fights for me. Talk to my team. I don't do none of that." Like he was just reverting to his team, which was very smart because sometimes agreements don't have to be signed and the ink dries. Sometimes when you call out somebody, and according to the crowd and according to the public opinion, you called that person out. We now want to see that fight. So that was very smart of him to kind of lawyer himself in that situation with Keyshawn. Secondly, I think I was watching the fight. Do you think he took Shakur's advice of not having to commit too much to get his knockouts? Like Shakur said, this game is a marathon. What you've been taking on, like what did Shakur say? He's been taking on wars early on, like because Abdullah Mason has been knocked down. He's been hit hard in some fights because he overcommits. Did you see that? I think he kind of didn't. Did you?
Yeah,
he's
been put down, and Keyshawn did give him some advice, like about the punishment he taking, like
punishment, yeah.
And he put himself in a little bit of danger, but he was able to get right back. Nakatalia had some power, had some pop on him, and he stood in the pocket. He took a good shot and he gave one back. So I think he was aware of the advice, but at the same time he understands the entertainment side of the business that people are looking for. And those battles while also being smart. I feel like he played a good balance of that, while also understanding what Shakur was saying.
Yeah, and I was watching it. I was like, well, he's paying attention, but he looked like he was driving the car with a lot of foot on the brake from his last fights, right? But also sometimes you don't want to change a fighter's nature, like. You can't tell Sean Porter back in the day, like, Sean Porter, man, don't hawk someone. Don't follow. Like, I want you now to back foot. Like, it may change his whole style, right? So, like, it's kind of weird, like, when Shakur is like, yo, now work on your pull punches, your countering. Don't overcommit. Maybe put, said this, it's a marathon. You don't want to get beat up in your early fights where, you're done. You don't want to wear yourself out. I do hear that, but man, I like Abdullah Mason because he puts it all on the line. So I don't know. I was just
even with me not watching this fight. First, I'm gonna say it wasn't a long enough fight to draw any conclusions as to that. Right. Second of all, it is a considerable step up. Like he probably took a couple opponents lightly that he shouldn't have. But this one, he wasn't going to make that mistake. And to be able to get him out of there in the manner in which he got him out of there.
Yeah.
5th round.
Yeah.
It lets you know. Nah,
it's real.
So, as we do in our typical fashion here, possible opponents for Mr. Abdullah Mason.
Well, we know he got the title shot. Sam Noakes, British. Let me check. Let me confirm.
So lightweight. Let's see what lightweight.
Let me go back. Didn't see any big names on Noakes' resume. 23, 1 loss. No. Let's see who his 1 loss is. Where is his 1 loss early in the career? First, his debut. Okay.
So we have 2 vacant belts in the lightweight division. We have the WBO, which was Keyshawn, and the IBF, which of course Lomachenko has already announced his.
But I think you looking at his amateur record.
Are you talking Noakes?
Yeah. 17-0, 15 knockouts. Last fight was May 10th against a Patrick Balaz. Yeah,
I'm showing May 25th. But 23, 17 knockouts, 1 loss. You see 1 loss on there?
Oh wait, hold on. Sam Notes. Yeah, we look at the same.
17-0. 17-0.
Yeah.
There we go.
I want to make sure we got the same guy. I got him up.
Gotcha. Matter of fact, you taught me something, and I never clicked off of it.
But like, it's not a pushover opponent. Is what we're getting at.
Mm-hmm.
This is a true challenge and a threat. To get a belt. So another fighter from the United Kingdom. Championship ready.
Damn, he's number 6 now.
He got some ice cold eyes. We got some time to watch the film and figure this guy out.
Yeah.
He's number 8. Sam Noakes. Yeah.
Let's see when. What was it? Oh, you said the IBF Lomachenko.
Yeah,
I think
he's
Raymond Murtazalia had. Were they going to elevate him, or he's going to fight for that belt? Because Murtazalia was like the number 1 contender.
And so we have Shakur Stevens. Let's see who holds belts in the lightweight.
Wait, am I saying it right? Murtazalia.
He was elevated, right?
And who am I thinking of?
Yes, he was elevated to the interim, the IBF interim.
Yeah, he's the IBF interim. Yep. And then okay, so we have current belt holders: Javante WBA.
Here we go.
Shakur Stevenson WBC, IBF vacant, WBO vacant. But you said that since Lomachenko's not here, it's going to be Molitaria because he's the interim. And then
so they'll I'm sure they'll schedule a bout to elevate to the regular champion or whatever they want to call it. Whatever.
So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see Abdullah Mason mixing it up with. Right now, he's going to mix it up with a top 8 guy, that guy from the UK, but a top 5 because he's ranked 6. So if he does good, I mean he's projected to at least. Let's see what this Tank and Lamont Roach fight looks like.
That is a fight. That is a fight that can be made and will be made sooner than it should have been. Is Murtazalia versus Keyshawn. If Keyshawn want to get back in the mix, IBF backdoor.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yes, man.
And all the people on the same side of the street. You looking at
another point.
Except for Shakur, did you say Shakur was in that class? Who did you say?
Shakur is the WBC,
but the relationship is there from the past. So Mason, Murtazalia, Davis,
Zepeda
is with they're about to fight. So Keyshawn and Zepeda.
Yeah.
So those are going to be unified. And so Zepeda is with
Golden Boy,
right? Gotcha.
So, but anyways,
these are fights that can be made. We might see a undisputed in the near future. Salute
to Mason.
This division is stacked.
Let's fast forward it to the weekend of the. Is it the weekend of the 12th? Remind me here.
This past weekend. That's all about
weekend, the 14th. June 14th. Let's talk about this one right here.
Real quick, man. Shout out to everybody that's watching live. Like, comment, subscribe. Jump in the comment section. So engage with us. We engage back.
Let us.
So Richardson Hitchins beat Kambosos. Did you see this coming?
Yes.
In that fashion.
Saw it coming, but not in that fashion. But as you saw the fight play out, you just got to give it up for Kambosos creating a career where he had multiple paydays, because it's just, I never was convinced in the power You know, the style or the persona. I mean, Richard Hitchins made him seem like a very much like a B-level fighter. Man, outstanding jab. You know, very calm, cool, collected, standing in the pocket, mid-range, complete domination, man. Kambosos did not look like somebody that was at that level at any point in his career. And that's just how sharp Hitchins was this past weekend.
This is what I will say. Yeah, this is what I'll say. Yeah, I really wasn't sure what to think about Hitchins. Like I thought he was a good fighter coming into this. I felt like this would be a good measuring stick. Because Kambosos has come out and said that at this point in his career, he has a better resume than Tank Davis.
That's what he said, yeah.
And I'm like, well, okay, when I look at the people you fought, okay, yeah, I mean, okay. So Hitchins came out and executed the game plan that Teofimo should have executed.
Put that jab on him, keep him back.
He showed enough respect for this opponent, but not so much to where it relegated his offense. He didn't show disrespect to where he lent himself out there to be available to get touched. Played it in the pocket.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Handled his business. Took care of his business.
I was when I watched this fight, my comedic side of my mind was thinking, what is Teofimo doing right now? Probably punching air. Because Teofimo, what he did to Lomachenko was classic, right? What Lomachenko did to Kambosos was destruction. And I'm like, how did Lomo do this to Kambosos and you had that split decision loss to Kambosos? And he kind of knocked you, I think he knocked him down or something happened.
Yeah, I think he knocked him down early.
Yeah, something traumatic happened. And then I saw Devin Haney, who hardly pressures any fight. I mean, he's a good fighter. Beat him unanimously, convincingly twice.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing Teofimo punching. I can imagine this guy's like, how did, because that is a stain on Teofimo's jacket like no other. And that's why Kambosos has a good resume, because of Teofimo. After that, that's when the legacy began, because when he fights a real opponent, they put it on him. Like Richardson put it on him. Like, I was like, you don't deserve to beat him. Like, we were lied. Like that Teofimo fight, because of the level Teofimo of a fighter Teofimo is, we kind of like, and let me not speak too early. Let me see who he fought before Teofimo. Well, a lot of them are local people from Australia, New Zealand. We have some people from the UK, but Teofimo was really the marquee name on his resume when he got to 20 fights. And after that, it's been only 2 wins and 4 losses. So everybody else has been putting the whoopings on him. If Devin Haney beats you twice, then like Teo, I don't know if Teo wants to get his lick back. I don't even know, like, if he's like, just for old time's sake, like, dude, that's a stain in Teofimo's jacket. That's all I was thinking about. Not even really about the fun.
Yeah, it's a blemish that he can't get back. And we touched this on the past. Cam's called it a fluke. I'll say it was the perfect storm. Like, I'll go on record over and over again saying that was the worst corner instructions that I had ever seen. But Teo said there were some other things physically, and I believe all of that, because it shouldn't have happened down. It shouldn't have went down like that.
Not, yeah.
Right.
Go ahead, Cam.
We see it.
Go ahead,
Cam.
I
was going to ask y'all, what did y'all think about the call out of Hitchins at the end of the fight, calling out Devin Haney? Like, he called Devin and Bill.
And his father, yeah. He called him.
Yeah.
In very colorful language too.
Okay, so as I put this in the chat, the whole fight, I'm like, why he got YN on his shorts? It just puts you in the mind frame of like where, because I deal with these kids all the day, so I'm
right.
My brain magically goes to YN. Then when they go to the interview, they like Brooklyn. I'm like, oh, it's New York. But then we get to call out. Then we get to call out at the end. We get to call out at the end, and I'm like, yeah, it's YN. It's YN.
David Haney.
Hey,
after showing for the Fist of Fury thing, whatever that thing was in New York, after that showcase, David Haney needs another sabbatical, and we like, bro, we were so unclimax. Like
another one.
It was so bad. That Friday, I wish I would get back. If it wasn't for Teofimo to save that day, I won my Friday back. The whole Ryan, that whole thing was a disaster. And David Haney getting called out. I love David Haney. And one time we had fake Bill on our chat here.
The Rolly fight was respectable. Like it was, respectable.
Yeah, but that David Haney fight was. I don't know. It just looks like a person who doesn't believe in themselves anymore. And I don't know if it's time for him to fight a hungry lion like a Richardson Hitchins. Like that guy, you could tell like he's been in the shadow of Tank. He's been in the shadow of Shakur. He's been their sparring partner. And now he's like, yo, I'm hungry. David Haney sleeping on some silk bed sheets. Thinks stuff is sweet out there. He's been eating high off the hog. He's doing good, and he looked like that when he was fighting. He looked like a comfortable guy. Like there was no urgency. It didn't look like you were fighting a guy who beat you and you were just claiming PEDs. Like you look bad. You look bad in your last fight. So if they're calling him out, that's a safe call out. That's the safest call out I've ever seen in my life. Smart move.
So he's just doing it for the name. Yeah, he'll being a businessman.
Well, Bill, in post fight, they got Bill like basically running out the tunnel, but he claimed that Kambosos touched Hitchins more than he touched Haney in 2 fights.
Well, there were 2 different type of fights.
Oh man,
there were 2 different type of fights.
You can't even listen to the cherry pick stats from that guy, man. You know how they go. We watching the fights, man. We see what's going on.
I will say that first Kambosos fight, man, Haney put on a clinic. Was it the first one or the second one? Wait, the first UD. Haney watched him. Yeah, just looked very good. But nah, come on. Bill is actually the most active Haney out here. Bill is out here catching all the fades for the sun right now online, and
hey, it's working.
He needs
working.
Haney, man, come out here and slap somebody, man. They forgot about you, man. Like now they think you're food. They look at you like you're food, man.
Wait,
you got young Richardson calling you out.
Wait, does Devin have any belts? Who got he tripping. He got the IBF belt. It's time for you to call out some of the belt holders.
Not currently.
Hitchins, yeah. Hitchins just got the IBF belt. Oh, you tripping. Or he already had it.
Depends on what.
Wait, I think this was
super light.
He came into this. Yeah, he came into the fight with the belt, correct.
Yeah,
okay. He won the belt.
So this is all right. So we see. So that means he's taking the tank business model. Then he got 1 belt. You right, Strap.
Mm-hmm.
You right. He got 1 belt. And he gonna take the low road.
Now, so this was first defense. Won it at the end of December 2024. First defense against the Kambosos. So now he's calling out Haney. Big name. I don't know. Y'all see star potential with the Richardson Hitchins? Good jab, good personality.
I see him. Okay. Let's personality wise, a New Yorker on their stuff is a good personality. Style wise, he lets you touch him. I mean, he's one of those that he'll give you a good, not a Rocky style like fighting, but he will give you some. He's not going to give you a boring fight from what I've seen. He's not a boring fighter.
I'm gonna call it like this. Terrence Crawford. Ironically enough, wasn't it the IBF belt that Terrence was that the one belt that he held until he fought?
Yes, he held that belt forever.
Okay.
Well, I won't say forever, but
until he fought Earl Spence.
There you go.
You see where I'm going with this? There's a lane here. So look, everybody else on this side of the street, Terrence Crawford, it was unfortunate. Like he fought a lot of them after somebody else had already beat them. So it's shaping up to be like that. Ask your question again, Kim? Star power.
Which about as far as him being a star power, right?
Star power.
Yeah. Do you think he's gonna be a star? Yeah.
I think he has star talent.
Yeah, he has talent.
I don't think he has star marketability. He's gonna have to take the hard road like Terrence Crawford did.
The skill may be underappreciated, but the work speaks for itself. Is that what we're looking at right here for? Is that the trajectory?
Yes.
He was extremely sharp. I was very impressed. I really enjoyed watching that, and
so
made me really think about Kambosos' career though as a whole.
One thing that really finds me confused with my marketing mind, right? How did Tank become a star? He's really not a speaker. He is a funny guy when he speaks. He does have high level quality talent, elite level talent. But there are other elite level fighters. Like, what makes Tank sell more than a Crawford? I just don't get it.
That tie in to Floyd early in his career. You know, Floyd was a polarizing figure. So just to have that type of attachment, you're getting some of those eyeballs there, and from there, it's
I think one
establishes a fan base.
I think one of the hardest things to do is being a lightweight or a lower weight fighter, selling yourself or making yourself marketable. I think heavyweights have it so easy. All you have to be as a heavyweight is be good at fight, be good, and they'll market that will market itself, because heavyweight, especially American heavyweight division is pretty much American boxing. Like the Alis, everything is just predicated off the American heavyweight, right? I mean, we have the weight division champions, the Sugar Rays and so on, but the American heavyweight has always been the premium. It markets its own self. We had people that had no personality be worldwide superstars. Like, let's say I love George Foreman, but George Foreman had no personality at all. I like the Sonny Listons of this world, but he's caught. Ali was running circles around him on the press conference. But man, the little guys need to have personality. They need to have an audience. They need to have so much, man. And I don't know how.
No. America loves an underdog. Like,
yeah,
this guy, like, short. America loves an underdog. Like, even if you're not the underdog,
they're like a story, I guess, was what you're saying.
But like somebody like Tank. Like, Tank is 5'4". He's gonna be
5'4".
He's going to be diminutive in comparison to just about every opponent he gets in the ring with. But, to the average person. Now, we know things like rehydration clauses can be the great equalizer where you got this little guy that's taking up. You know, there's an aesthetic to Tank, right? So all that plays into him being box office.
And I also think Cam said it, like, how powerful is Floyd Mayweather where he just endorses you or puts a stamp on you, and then now, you know, you start to project and go up in your market value. Because I don't know, like I failed to figure out how Terrence Crawford is not as big a star as he needs to be. I just, even after the big win, it's just still Ryan Garcia will still
real quick though. It comes down to the marketability of the fight as well. So here recently, they have been running promos at WWE, right? WWE events featuring Canelo and Terrence Bud Crawford. So when you're bringing in the promotion to the WWE fan, which is very rabid, very loyal, you're bringing in a whole new demographic that will now be aware of what you got going on. So it's a lot of factors. I think some of it's been his doing as well, just who he chose to be with, what he chose to put out in public. But you're seeing that kind of come. The UK loves him. Yeah, when he visited the UK. The UK they love him. So I think you're kind of getting some. Go ahead.
It's a different fan base. So Strap is talking about brand association. So you put a product beside Floyd Mayweather, the money team, at the height. So Floyd is at his height. He's exiting the ring, and so now you have somebody that can live up to the hype. Okay, what you're talking about is also brand association, because we know that UFC Dana White is promoting this. Okay, we know that TKO owns UFC and WWE. So brand association. TKO is the ticker on Wall Street or the stock exchange. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, like some of these things, like you'll never know how some people, either there's a button they push on some of these fighters, and then, you know, one night they're just regular, next night they have like 5 million followers. But I always wondered with Tank. But again, you guys painted a picture of there's so many things that could be associated with that. His market value, the Floyd aspect, performance aspect, and just like, you know, like his aesthetic. Like, how is that little guy taking these dudes out like that? Like, just that whole thing. And you know, some people have the luck of, like you said, the UK people are fighting people. They love boxing, so they'll support their fighters whether they have personality or not. They just
that's where I was trying to land the plane, and I forgot on my way there. That is exactly. Thank you. I do want to note though, once again, because back to the question of the call out, Teofimo Lopez was there, who was the WBO belt holder in the division, and he did not call out Teofimo. Which would have been the battle for Brooklyn, is what they also WBA Gary Antoine Russell, WBC Albert Puello, and it says Devin Haney, WBC champion in recess. So
yeah, he was looking for food. He was looking for food that day.
But Devin Haney, at cost benefit analysis, Devin Haney is up here versus the cost. Like, you're better off fighting Devin Haney than you are fighting Albert Puello. Because
that risk, he did a quick risk assessment before applying a business plan, and it sounds smart, but you know, this is just us talking, man. David Haney will probably take him to the wash, because he's a good fighter, but it's a good assessment for right now, because David Haney is kind of gun shy. So why not fight him when he's gun shy? Like, where we don't know if dude is still, if he could get that monkey off his back, you know, because he really needs to.
If he takes the fight,
David.
If we find out that a contract was presented and he did not take the fight,
that would be bad for David Haney's career. Like right now, if they call you and you're David Haney, and it makes sense, you cannot duck. You cannot duck. There's nothing. Oh, you're not.
We got to look out for that.
Yeah. All right, we have another fight that day that happened on that card. We have Andy Cruz versus Hironori Mishiro.
So I actually watched this in its entirety.
IBF lightweight eliminator.
Y'all seen this?
Yeah.
Oh man. So one thing is for certain. One thing is for certain about these Japanese fighters, and I have to assume that it's Japanese based off of the name.
Yeah.
They will honor the family. Okay. They will honor the family in battle. They are going out on their shield. There is no quit.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're warrior people. They're warrior people, man.
Now, Andy Cruz,
Olympian.
Very impressive. Very impressive. I've been hearing, this is my first time getting a good look at him. And I was very impressed because he fought a very game opponent. Where when you fighting somebody like that and they taking, like, you hurting them, and when you hurt them, they come back with 3. That can mess with your head. Like, so that can mess with a fighter's head. Like, they took my best shot and they still coming forward.
Kept coming.
But he was unshaken, stayed the course. And I was impressed by both these fighters.
Yeah. The Mishiro just didn't move his head. Very I forgot who was on the broadcast for this, but we had a very stiff upper body, right? And that gave Andy Cruz a good target. I think obviously he got to the title eliminator bout. He's had success in his career, but Andy Cruz is able to exploit that. He showed punch variety. We were seeing him continue to get better as he transforms from that Olympic style and kind of meshes the Philly, sitting on his punches, being in the pocket, letting the hands go, and that Olympic Cuban style, where it's a lot of dancing, footwork, head movement. Man, I really enjoy watching him fight. Very entertaining, man, and just ready for the next one.
Yeah, and if we hadn't piled on enough, Strap, Andy Cruz is Keyshawn Davis' father.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah.
So,
and I'm assuming that's from the amateurs, right?
4-0 in the amateurs.
Yeah, 4-0. Yeah, amateurs. I mean, Andy Cruz.
He's carried the trophy, so he has committed. He's staying in character from the Olympics. Like he every opportunity.
Apparently, he don't even speak English, but he
sends a tweet.
Yeah.
Don't speak English, but he knows how to talk that talk. Yeah. So, man, another one for Andy Cruz.
Did you see that video where Andy Cruz had finished his fight? We're walking over to Shakur and Keyshawn looked at him like, just kind of fist pumped him, or kind of gave him like some lackluster, like.
Yeah. So there was.
I was like, come on, Keyshawn. Come on.
Yeah. There's some. Yeah.
But
there were signs.
Yeah, but man, we've dogpiled on Keyshawn today. But as we move on to the UFC, a week before we had the UFC 316, and this was main driven by Merab Delvachevilis versus Sean O'Malley, also known as Sugar Sean O'Malley. And this is the second time they've clashed. Well, the second time was not the charm that Sean O'Malley was wishing for or looking for. He was submitted. and it was a very competitive fight till that submission. But Merab just looked so much stronger, so much more sharper. Looked like he was in championship condition, ready for the 5 rounds. But it was ended quickly in the 3rd round by a submission. It was a choke. Wouldn't say too much on that. And here we have Kayla Harrison. You guys are familiar with Kayla Harrison. She came from Bellator. She's one of the Bellator's Hall of Fame fighters on their catalog. She's actually considered as what's the word here for when you're legacy. She's a legacy act on their catalog. On their catalog.
Gotcha.
Same thing as a Michael Chandler, that type of thing, because they were the people that actually UFC wanted to bring in the UFC when they were piping hot, but just they stayed in Bellator a little longer. But eventually the UFC pulled her. UFC has been pulling people from other legacy acts, like even MVP Michael Venom Page was another one that the UFC wanted, but he was in another league, and finally the UFC got him. Kyla, same thing. She fought a former world champion in the bantamweight division, Juliana Pena, the only woman to beat Amanda Nunes.
So yeah, I actually, because the fights in New York went off early, I looked over to the right. I'm like, oh, I guess I need to stay here and watch these UFC fights.
Right.
And this was a loaded. This was a loaded card for for it to not be not to be one of the this was a loaded card.
Yeah. So Kyla, her background is judo. She's an Olympian judo. So you already know what she does. She is also she developed very good stand-up fighting in Bellator, leading on to other mixed martial artist disciplines like the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, together with her takedown judo ability, made her a force to be reckoned with. She is a multiple black belt holder in multiple disciplines. Anyways, let's talk about this fight. As it stated there, it did defeat Juliana Pena, and this set up the fight for the GOATs.
Yeah.
She called out the GOAT herself, Amanda Nunes. And this was because she just won the bantamweight title. She's like, well, I have the title, you have the legacy. Let's go at it. And it was kind of it was a respectful call out. Amanda respected it because in their prime, this would be great. It's like Adesanya calling out Anderson Silva in their prime, both of them piping hot as champions. Yes, Nunes has been some time. Same thing as Harrison. But hey, it's happening. UFC's Dana White and the UFC team are about to make this fight happen. It is going to be a seller because Amanda Nunes, just like Clarissa Shields, these are one of the women that I know can headline stuff. Like Amanda Nunes is headlining the UFC by herself as the main person. Like her, what are the biggest women fighter stars? Amanda Nunes,
Holly
Holmes at one time, and then the lady that was the champ before Amanda Nunes, and she went into acting and wrestling. Forgot her name.
I just heard her name today. Ronda Rousey.
She was in Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
She would sell out. Like they would sell out for real. Like it was not it's a women on this card. No, Amanda Nunes really has the whole of Brazil watching her, has the whole, everybody watching her. So she is a star, and same thing as Ronda Rousey, same thing as you said Holly Holmes. So anyways, we are looking out for that fight. Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes. It's in the works. What else do I have on my docket here? As we already
this next one was a treat. Like I didn't even know.
Yes,
I just looked up and was like, oh,
yes. So this weekend we had, and I like both these fighters. I like them a lot. So we had Usman, former UFC champion, step back into the octagon after 2 years of not being active. And we have a young up-and-coming Joaquin Buckley, explosive. He's a stand-up fighter, man. And yeah, if you ever want to be entertained, go see his knockouts. I think he has one of the coldest knockouts in UFC history, where he knocked out this dude mid, like, and I'll play here. Like, it's his knockouts are just ridiculous. But he came head-to-head with Usman this weekend. And I tell you, if you've not watched this fight, you see levels. There's levels to this. You can see who's a championship fighter, and you can see who's a young buck. This kind of reminded me of Canelo versus Floyd Mayweather. You know, there's the young hot fighter, the athletic fighter, and there's just this old man that knows how to just get it done. And that's what Usman did to. And I like him, Joaquin Buckley. I'm gonna play his famous knockout. He's an exciting fighter. But let me share my screen here. There we go.
So
hold up. Oh, but he's knockout is ridiculous. Dude was grabbing on his leg, but he's level switch and just took his soul out like crazy. Explosive fighter.
Oh, the edit is insane.
yeah. But yeah, like it's one of the like UFC, like one of them. Did you see that knockout where he just hit him with a turning heel kick and just, you know, took him to another dimension, man? But yeah, that's Joaquin Buckley, man. And you're saying LT, sorry, before?
Nah, it's just a head scratcher of a matchup. Like, very entertaining. But, you know, this is a kid that's on a hot streak that you could potentially build up. And then for the comeback fight, I mean, this is an opponent that has a puncher's chance against this legend. Mm-hmm. So you just, as a matchup, it was a head scratcher. So you just, you know, it seemed like a lose-lose for the brand, but it was an entertaining fight, so the fans win. I guess that's all that matters.
I was very skeptical. I was kind of like you. When I saw this matchup, I'm like, one, is Joaquin ready for 5 rounds? We have not seen him do that yet. 2, Usman has been on a 3-fight losing streak. And he's not been losing bad, but he's been losing. And he's got clipped twice. And then the last fight, he was ragdolled by Hamza. So I'm like, man, I think they're setting the table up for a new face, and that's
yeah.
And they didn't want to put it on a prime UFC feature, so they did it on a fight night. So you know, the legend can be killed with honor, not on a big screen, and the young lion, you know, could, you know, get his look. But in this case, the old lion looked like, nah, I ain't going for that. Usman ragdolled the hell out of this boy. It was, you know, like we talk about MMA, right? There's fighting on earth and then fighting in the water. So there's the shark and there's the lion. Usman was the shark. He never let dude stand up and get off what he's good at. He was taking him into the water, like 2-leg tech down, double leg tech down, ground and pound. Beat my dude up so bad, and I'm like, who coached Joaquin? Like, Usman, yes, we've seen him knock out people, but he's a wrestler, and he knows, and Usman knows he's not on your level, Joaquin, in the striking department. Learn how to do your takedown defenses, and that's the thing. Good stand-up people in the UFC. If you know you're not a good wrestler, at least defend a takedown. Know how to separate your legs and how to maneuver yourself to not be taken down, because when you're taken down and you do not know how to fight on the floor, a Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy is going to violate you. If you don't know how to fight on the floor, don't do it. And that's what happened to my man Joaquin. He looked like he didn't know, like you saw LT. Whenever he was on the ground, he didn't know what to do. And Usman was putting all that body weight on him and just pounding and beating him up, slamming him. I'm like, dog. Yeah. Like
levels, grown man strength here.
Yeah. So, and to me, that was I like Usman. Salute. He's been one of the legendary champions, but it shows you that, man, when you're doing mixed martial arts for real, like if you're a boxer looking for a quick lick, like I can box, at least learn how to defend things that you're not. I'm not saying be a good wrestler, but defend yourself from somebody who's going to take you down. Always stay in the land of your comfort, in the land where you're the lion or where you're the shark. If you're not a good fighter, stand-up fighter, find ways to feint and quicker ways to shoot. But apparently, Joaquin didn't get that memo, man, and he got beat pretty bad. On another fight that happened that day, and I only will talk about two of them. We'll talk about Rose Namajunas versus Miranda Maverick. Rose won by unanimous decision. Rose has been in the UFC for a long time. Call her, what's that name? Something Thug something Rose. Like she's a character. But anyways, it's good to see Rose back, and the UFC is always a good place when we have I'm not going to say a name here. Namajunas back into the mix of things and part competing for the women's flyweight division. Okay, let's go into the forecast and things to look forward to.
Oh yeah. So Brian Norman's becoming a name, and we see his name tossed out there with the likes of Boots and not a lot, but the Boots, mainly Boots. But it's being said that Boots is getting ready to go up to 154. That's what Eddie Hearn came out and said that too. So that leaves.
I saw it on Twitter, but yeah,
I think Eddie Hearn has vocalized it. They've said that Boots is unable to perform at 100%, and he wants to be able to perform at his best comfortably. So that's going to leave IBF and WBA belts vacant. Mario Barrios is the WBC belt holder in that division. So,
yeah, like remind me, when was the last time Boots fought? It's been a minute.
Ooh,
trying to remember. Like,
yeah.
He's been.
While I looked it up, my phone died. But before that last fight, though, there was some chatter about Brian Norman and Boots kind of going back and forth on social media and things like that, maybe trying to build up a potential fight. But the whole thing was we didn't know Boots was going to even stay at 147. Brian Norman looks like to be a 147 guy, going to stay there, has a belt, is going to Japan and fighting on for us, I think would be a Thursday morning, if I'm not mistaken. So some strange things have happened over there with some of our champions going to Japan for their fights. So
we just talked about how tough they are and the warrior spirit. And as you can see,
on home turf, hey, you gotta come get it.
Yeah.
As you can see, Boots last fought in April.
Is that Godzilla? What was that? Let's sound in the background.
Oh, you hear that?
Yeah, that was that was a lot.
And you're like the spirit of the Japanese, and you had
that
was
man. I've relocated, and that is legit a speedway back there. That is that is the yeah.
So all these fights Go ahead. Okay.
Go ahead.
So all these fights, are they scheduled for this weekend? Oh wow.
That's all the same card.
This is Thursday.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah. Japan, they don't do weekends. They don't do weekends.
Yeah, we need to do some research and figure out what's up with that. Because that's
which is
like
weird.
Monday night fights, Thursday.
Monday night. And they have them like Yeah, some of them like they'll say Sunday, but it's really actually Monday. On their posters they have, because I think the hours ahead of us.
Sun rises in the
All
east
I
and
know
sets in
is
the west.
Brian Norman. There you go. Brian Norman, hey man, hey, come home with that strap, man. That's it.
Representing.
That's a tweet.
When is Pearl Harbor Day?
Yikes.
When is that?
Is that on the day?
No, it's in December.
But
hey, there's some Top Rank. There's some marketing for you,
man. Go back out there and do some.
Matter of fact, just have it in Hawaii. Top Rank, Pearl Harbor Day in Hawaii.
Right.
Matter of fact, Top Rank. In conjunction with Don King, Keyshawn Davis feature fight
versus Adrian Broner, right?
Nah, for real. Nah, you might as well. Yo, we might that would be an entertaining build up. A Keyshawn versus Adrian Broner.
Yeah.
Fight.
And should be like one of
stupid.
Should probably have like one of those like creative fights where you have Adrian Broner, you have Easter, you have all these guys, and then put them on like on a boxing Grand Prix where they fight each fighter a day, but they have to also talk to the microphone. So they get points for how much charisma they have on the microphone. So you get like 1 point on the Grand Prix table for how much crap talking you could do, and then how that manifests in the ring. That's how that would be fire. But hey, I'm just speaking to speak.
All right. So the opponent, 5'8", close to 5'8.5", 69.5 inch reach. What is this? 19-1-1. 17 of his wins are by way of knockout. He's got one loss by knockout and one draw. Battle tested opponent.
Do we have a network where this will be shown? Is this ESPN?
Usually those Japan fights, they either on Top Ranking or they usually Top Ranking. I mean, Inoue. I'm thinking about Inoue's fights, but outside Inoue, I don't know.
You know, sometimes I'm not sometimes. A lot of times I'm at the gym at that time. So early in the morning, we got a projector in there, so I might be able to throw it on the projector if it's on like an ESPN situation.
Kobata. All right, so let's move on. Let's take a time to
wrap it up. Show these UFC bouts coming up. Yeah.
Ooh, that's stacked.
They had no shortage of names.
Wow. So we have Jamal Hill versus Khalil Roundtree versus Rafael versus Mitchell. Curtis Blaze still fights. Okay, let's talk about the main card here, because I can have some information here. Let's talk about Jamal Hill versus Khalil Roundtree. Both of these guys fought Pereira. Pereira beat Jamal Hill pretty easy. He knocked him out quick. But that Roundtree fight with Pereira was a war. They went all out. Eventually, Pereira won, but that was a war. That was one of the hardest outside Israel. Adesanya knocked out Pereira. But that was one of the hardest fights I've seen Pereira fight. Actually, both fighters had to be taken to the hospital immediately after that. One of them had to get like plastic surgery on the nose and stuff. There was so much damage on that classic fight. Apparently, Khalil had to back out from the fight the first time they were going to fight with Jamal Hill, because they had detected a substance that was not supposed to be in his body. He kind of like stood out saying, "Hey, I've detected something that is not. I'm stepping away from the fight." I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's like I'm a good guy. I've been compromised. I don't know what was put in my body that is illegal. I'm not gonna fight. Anyways, so this is the second time they're gonna try it again.
He might have been partying on Rainy Street.
That they didn't say what substance it was, whether it's PEP, whether it's a party drug, but he stepped away saying his body has been compromised with something, and he was not in fighting condition. But anyways, with those two coming to clash again, that's going to be a great fight. Jamal Hill is known for his both of them are knockout guys, but Jamal is a straight knuckle guy, just knuckle. While Khalil is more like classic Muay Thai, knees, elbows, punch, a body, leg, kick. So you will not see too much ground game, especially if it's a Jamal Hill fight. He's straight out of Detroit, street dude turned into MMA fighter. You're going to see Merry Fistmas happening in the ring. But yeah, so yeah, some of the most if you ever like are looking for like knockout compilations in the UFC, Jamal Hill has some interesting. He has legit one power concussion type of like Deontay Wilder type of power, but is he a skilled fighter per se? I mean, he's dangerous. Khalil, I think Khalil will win this, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see.
Definitely interesting.
Yeah. All right, I'm trying to look before even I conclude this. I just want to look for his compilation and knockouts, but he has a good body of work to say the least. Yeah. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we held it on to an hour 32 minutes. It's been another exciting, action-packed, not midweek, but beginning of week episode of your favorite pastime combat sports lovers. It's the Who's Fighting show. And again, I want to ask my co-host, LT Kam Gee, who is fighting?
Who fighting?